Welcome, my dear devotees, and welcome to the persons who are entering now, Mrs. Bharati and Sriman Narayan. No, Sriman, his name I suddenly forgot because so many names. Srikant, yeah, Srikant. Jyoti Garu's foxhole mate, if you will, long ago. Foxhole mate. Don't mistake me, they were working for the same office in a foxhole. Lots of humor in the satsang. Famous devotees of Shirdi Baba. I've been talking about so many, yet I covered only a millionth of the tip of an iceberg. Each and every one of you here is a great devotee of Shirdi Baba. And then some. Right? Today, so many events have happened in devotees' lives. I don't have time to congratulate them. I don't have time to talk about them. Sometimes I do talk elaborately, but then in between or at the end, Baba suddenly was sitting in the Dwarakamayi and he suddenly said, I'm in the mood of going to Pandarpur. I'm in the mood of going to Pandarpur and therefore let's go to Pandarpur. The strain of the song was, Pandarpur is calling me, Vithoba is calling me, and therefore let us go to Pandarpur, let's all sing the glory of Vittala. You don't stand dancing Vittala, Vittala, it's a famous song, beautiful song. Baba said that for a reason. When Baba says something, there is a reason always, right? There's a reason. Our Deputy Collector Nana Sahib Chandorkar, NG Chandorkar, never informed anybody. He got a transfer to Pandarpur because he was a great devotee of Shirdi Sai, and one of the visits he didn't tell Shirdi Baba. He thought, I am not telling. Baba knew. He wanted to get a transfer to Pandarpur so that he can stay and do his job at Pandarpur. This was a secret wish and Baba had already given when he got a transfer order, and he said, on the way I'll go to Shirdi and then take a small detour Shirdi to Pandarpur. From Pune it's 224 kilometers. Other distances we have two persons who lived in Maharashtra. I'm talking about Pandarpur because that's a Mecca and Medina for all the Maharashtrians. For all the Indians, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and to some extent Tamil Nadu, but mostly Maharashtrians, he is a living God. In UP, you cannot say anything wrong about Lord Rama because if you say that, next moment your limbs will be off your body. Because early morning you meet somebody, you say Jai Ram Ji ki. I used to say that for 10 years, Jai Ram Ji ki. In Tamil Nadu, you say that, sir, my name is not Jai Raman. No, I didn't mean that, sir. Then that is all right, sir. In Hindi, in Maharashtra, you say something about Vittala or Panduranga, Vittal or Vithoba, all four names refer by the Sampradayam to Lord Krishna. We have two persons here, several people, but they lived in Bombay. Professor knows this Marathi culture. Every Maharashtrian thinks that in their lifetime they should go once to Pandarpur, minimum once. Like in India, they think minimum once you should go at least once to Kashi, world's oldest city. Baba started singing, let's go to Pandarpur, and we are very happy to go to Pandarpur. And then Nana Chandorkar and the party was, mind you, he was deputy collector. He comes on a horseback with people, and he is saying, I got it. Shama says, already he knows. Look at the song. Because Nana wanted, the first sentence he spoke was, after the bhajan, he is welcomed by Shirdi Baba, and then Nana says, Baba, I come to take you to Pandarpur. Baba's usual way of reaction you all know. Some of you may not know. He says, where we are living is Pandarpur, and your Vittala is here, Vittalji is here. He always says Vittalji is here, and this is our Pandarpur. And Nana always used to say in Mumbai and wherever he was working as deputy collector, my Pandarpur is Shirdi and my Vittalji is Shirdi Baba. This is there in Sacharita, in several books. That's his famous saying. He was proud to say that I am Vittalji, and some of you will say, where is the proof? The proof is in the pudding. I am going to give you in another 15 minutes in this satsang. Pandarpur is the abode of Lord Vittal. So the pilgrimage, Pandarpur Yatra or pilgrimage, is one of the holiest I ever knew in the whole world. The simple fact, very simple fact, simplest of simple facts that show how big is the yatra. It's called a dindi. Groups of people are called dindi. And am I right? The pronunciation you may. Several dindis go from several places, Pune, Alandi, where all the sons were born, Namdev, Sakaram and other people. Close to 0.8 million people, which is 8 lakhs in India. 7 to 8 lakhs used to go, but now it is crossing 1 million. It is so important that Government of Maharashtra, under the famous former Chief Minister, used to visit every year and praise for Maharashtrian people for development and less political intervention. All these things he praised along with his wife, Srimati Rashmi. Am I right? They both go. They built 14 buildings of world's can be termed as the world's largest toilet facility. You didn't expect this. World's largest toilet facility is in Pandarpur, of 14 buildings where men and women can take bath much better than your home. There is a changing place next to that, and there is a toilet. There's a changing place where you got hot fan, cold fan, water to drink, maybe coffee and chai, maybe cooler too. I've not gone there. Intend going there before I kick the bucket. Pandarpur is no ordinary place. So let's go to Pandarpur today. Do you like it? So far I was shifting and then stayed myself in Shirdi and around United States Shirdis. But today, let's go to Pandarpur. Having said that, what do you think? Pandarpur is famous from the 13th century. Nirmala, 63 years old, is a very famous Wari. There is a song in Hindustani music called My Wari Wari Jaun. This song I heard the song from one of those Hindustani music students just about 3-4 months ago on the internet. Wari is nothing but the pilgrimage to Pandarpur. If you are on a pilgrimage to any place, it's called a Varkha resource, is a human ocean. And each and everybody is free to go there. They will all be wearing, men will be wearing the ochre-colored, orange-colored cap and the upper dhota and the shirt. Women will be wearing the same color sari. Women will be carrying tulasi on their head, and they will keep it down only when they are taking a shower or answering nature's call. Thousands and thousands of people travel from several places in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, of course, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and a few from north. I told you about Maharashtrians. At least once they will visit. This is controlled by a chowkidar. He raises his hand with the danda, and then the group dindi will stop. Several people will carry a picture of a sant, the 4 famous sants, I need not tell you, Tukaram and others. From the 13th century, when the temple, as the folklore says, Purana says that from the 13th century, the temple is there. But it was called from the 13th century, it was called Pundalik. Pundalik is the one, a very famous devotee who was very famous in Kundalini Yoga. He started with Kundalini Yoga and then he was checkmated by Lord Krishna. And then Pundalik's much checkered history I'm going to go through in 2 minutes. It was Pundalik who started the temple, and then Pandurang. Pundalik name came to him from the name Pandurang. Pandurang is another name for Vithalji. Baba has referred several times about Vithalji and Pandarpur. In fact, one of the famous cemeteries of one of the most famous devotees of Shirdi Baba was so close is Das Ganu. Das Ganu cemetery is very close to Chandrabhaga river, just a curve of river Bhima. River Bhima nestling around Pandarpur. I can turn poetic, but then some of you can describe even better. It nestles around where it becomes a crescent of a moon. It's called, that area is called Chandrabhaga, and Chandrabhaga is the place where your Pandarpur sits today. Hundreds and hundreds of temples are there. One temple is also Pundalik temple. Hundreds of temples. If you go there, you cannot see all of them once. But then the Varis travel there. 222 kilometers, the maximum. They go there, they are all stopped outskirts of Pandarpur. And then there is a major group operating there. The government of Maharashtra does an extraordinary job in controlling over a million people. I told you an example how they built the 14 buildings. And then they all go there, each and everybody starts, every group has a name. And they all call. Although anybody who has gone there would know these procedures are in effect even today. Very efficiently managed by the government of Maharashtra. Pundalik did a remarkable work in popularizing. But then before that, 63-year-old Nirmala, she says, men and women of all ages, aged and young, children, anywhere between 5 years to 12, 16 years, children, boys and girls, educated and uneducated, rich and poor, we all travel together. There is no system of classification on class or caste system in India. Still has some caste system, some place in India. We don't have any caste system because everybody in the group is called a Mauli. Mauli is nothing but Baba used to call Ai. Ai is nothing but, mother. Mauli is called mother. Everybody, men and women, they are called Mauli in the group. And to each other they will prostrate and do namaskar because everybody, this tradition you can see. We saw the tradition in India while traveling by a car from Shirdi to Pune. We saw only these Maulis. Everywhere, right from Rahata it started, right? Somewhere outskirts of Shirdi, I was looking at Rahata, the times of Shirdi Baba and the Rahata these days. He knows, he was with me in Shirdi, the one in the kitchen now, our cinematographer, filmmaker. He stayed in the same hotel. He happened to be there. Who arranged it, I don't know. So when we went there, we saw all these Maulis, all the palkis, and all the sun's pictures. They're all silver palkis, particularly. And then on the way we saw some horses. These horses will run pretty fast. And then when they are running very, very fast, this ceremony is called a Ringan ceremony. They will do that. It's not just for fun. When the horses are traveling in between two rows of karwaris, the horse hoof will be raising dust. And the dust, all the devotees will rush and get the dust and then they'll sprinkle it on their head. Even those who have dust allergy. This is called a Ringan. And then there is another ceremony called a Dava. When Tukaram first went, 13th or 14th century, exact dates and months I don't have, literature doesn't give me. When he went there, he was in a delirium when he saw the towers of the only temple there, Pundalik Mandir. So he started running in great, anxiety and happiness. And today, Dawa repeats the same procedure. Everybody becomes Tukaram and then they start running. It is being practiced even today. But on the way, Nirmalaji says, she was 63, 123, 224 kilometers she walked. There was hardly any pain in the foot, in the feet, except a small boil. Even that boil, when you reach the main mandir of Pandarpur, it goes away. Nirmalaji says, she's living. She's a living devotee of Vithalji. Nirmalaji also shared very interesting things. The way everybody gets facilities or lack of facilities, heat. Ashadi Mahina comes in the last week of June and July. Maharashtra will be boiling, the heat of the sun, and therefore everybody is walking. And that Ashadi is the most major festival of Pandarpur. This Pandarpur Varkaris, they develop lots of problems, you think. Nirmalaji said nobody develops any problem. On the way, every city gives food. Government of Maharashtra arranges food. There are lots of tents for men and women to take shower, quick shower. They wake up at 3 a.m. and then they go up to walking up to 10 p.m. minus this, in between this meals gaps. And everybody has got only one aim, one idol in front of them, to see Vithalji. You know how they see? In the temple, the management says, 70 to 80 pilgrims will see in 1 second. Believe me, that's there in the book. In 1 second, 70 to 80 people will be. They won't push them. They will all know lakhs, 1 million people are there. Everybody who goes there in the Wari will have to see Vithalji. They cannot go. They go there 100 kilometers, they walk only to see him for 1 second. Some of you are reminded of Tirupati, right? Yeah, immediately everybody will think Tirupati. In Telugu, they will say, come in and get out. Randi, 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 randi. The Lord knows. He is watching. That Lord in Tirupati is none other than your Sripada Shivallabha. During Rama's times, he was Venkateshwara. About 7,000 years ago, 6,700 years ago, Lord Rama ruled on the planet. He was Lord Venkateshwara. And then for some time he turned Sripada Srivallabha. It is there in the Puranas. And then he became Lord Venkateshwara and then Ambal, Tayar, Sri Padmavati. And therefore, that temple, at least you spend half a minute in front of the good Lord. Several people will say, did we walk all the way? We didn't even come by the winch, not by the bus. We walked. It's all uphill, right? And then they are saying, half a minute. Tell them about Pandarpur, all right? Tell them about Shirdi. We took half an hour to cross from the hotel, one road to Dwarakamayi. 30 minutes we were standing there. He knows, our photographer knows. Am I right? Because auto rickshaws and human oceans, they kept on coming. And then the stray dogs, and then the mendicants, and then the sellers of prasad, and well-packeted prasad. So while we're walking, you can buy the prasad. That's the only temple. And it took 30 minutes for us. So tell them to Dwarakamayi, people who line up to get into Dwarakamayi, they can get into Dwarakamayi, they cannot. But they are happy while just walking across Dwarakamayi. That's what is going on now after the last 2 years. Am I right? Thanks to your good offices, our story was a little different. Pandarpur, Nirmalaji wept right there. After the visit, Nirmalaji returned, and in a dream, Panduranga appeared. It's a very famous visit. I'm not describing the visit, how many riverside, Chandrabhaga, Bhima, all those things I'm not telling. She returned, and in a dream, 10th day, some white clad man, a man with a white gown, reportedly a physician in Maharashtra or anywhere in India, he came and concluded that you have in your left breast, you have cancer. She was about 63, and she woke up and told everybody in her family, and then immediately she went to a physician, and that's the same physician who appeared in the dream, and then he operated, his surgeon operated, and she got all right in a jiffy, in no time. Nirmalaji's story has got several chapters. I can only touch a few nuggets here and there, because this story is about him, right? And Rukmini, Sri Rukmini and Vithalji. When I am saying all these things, I already told about Chandorkar. Let's get a little bit down to Shirdi. The famous family of Ramachandra Atmaram Tarkad. I'm very fond of that family, because even the current generation, I happen to be in touch with the current generation. Virendra's son and daughter, particularly daughter, working for IBM, used to call me some years ago. That's the current generation. Let's go back a little bit to R.A. Tarkad, Ramachandra Atmaram Tarkad. His wife is Srimati Sita Devi. Sita Devi's life was miserable because she had migraine. Every day she used to, several people including the maid servant in their family came and said, there is a person, there is a Ilahi right there in the Imambara nearby in Bandra. Please go there. He's a very successful man. But then Ramachandra Atmaram Tarkad is a Samajwadi. And then they don't believe in statues, pictures, or gods, Swamijis. Right? That is what Samajwadi, Pratanaji. So it's very difficult to ask him permission. Jyotindra was the one eldest, and the Jyotindra could not muster enough strength to go to his dad. But then she came to Shirdi, and then Baba just one touch and the migraine was gone. But then the story is, one day in Mumbai, in Bandra Bungalow, she was telling, she was very happy without migraine. She started falling into all lots of religious literature. She started reading. Her face became very, very calm, because migraine every day she used to, on the one side, on the right side, she used to get severe pain every day. And now that there is no pain, she was very happy, peaceful. And then she started talking with Jyotindra, saying that the folklore Maharashtra, right? Every Maharashtrian should go. She said, I would like Jyotindra, take me to Pandarpur. Before I die, I must see Pandarpur. He said, Amma, we have gone to Shirdi Baba. We have to go and ask Shirdi Baba permission to go. Because Shirdi Baba says always, Shirdi is Pandarpur, Dwarakamayi is Pandarpur, and he is Vithalji. And therefore, let's go. So on a proper day, on a weekend, Friday night, they started going to Shirdi. They reached Shirdi. When they entered Dwarakamayi, Baba already knew. They're going to ask me this question. And when actually Sita Devi asked, Baba, this is my ambition for a very long time. I would like to go to, where is he? He's not here. Okay. This story will have some meaning for him, and would like to go to Pandarpur, and then I've been dreaming about going to Pandarpur, and in my lifetime I got to go, otherwise my life will be incomplete. Even if I come here, it will be incomplete. So she makes a very big case for her visit to Pandarpur. Jyotindra is just keeping quiet. He knows Shirdi Baba is a young man, boyish looking, and he keeps quiet and waiting for Shirdi Baba to answer. Baba says very smilingly, Maji, this is our Pandarpur. You get your Vithalji here. This is our Pandarpur, so you need not travel that far. 3 sentences he spoke. When he spoke, Sita Devi got a little bit flustered, not exactly angry. Can you get angry with the Shirdi Baba? Right? You can get angry with your hubby, Mr. Hubby, your husband, any number of times. Because he just goes away, turns the other way, and he just say, very scholarly hubbies say, it's okay. Those husbands are very lucky. Other people retort. Here Sita Devi was about to retort. But then she says, oh, this is Shirdi Baba. He knows my mind, he knows my future, he knows when I'm going to visit. Because he has already 4 or 5 miracles. They are doing Thursday Puja's Arati in Bandra home for Shirdi Baba. Picture has gone there from Chori Bazaar. I'm not getting into all those stories because that story is a big book written by Virendra Jyotindra Tarkad. Some of you have read that book, right? The story is from that book. And therefore, she says, I insist you give me permission, I need to go. And Baba said, Ma, you can go there. You can meet with Vithalji. He is ready. He is already ready to invite you. So she is very happy. She goes back to Mumbai, Bandra, and then how to convince the Prarthana Samajwadi, the great, brother, Bhav. Oh, Bhav is Jyotindra, the great Bataria, the grand old man of the family, Ramachandra Atmaram. How do you pronounce? How do you say this thing? So, Jyotindra just goes there and says, Amma wants to see at least once. They cannot invite him because he will not go to any temple. His first visit to Shirdi Baba itself was epic. I'm not telling that. No, in the train, they were playing cards. Remember, playing cards, Baba came and gave a coin. And they just said he was getting 3,000 rupees a month. He just threw the coin away. Okay, take it and go. He met with him again in Dwarakamayi. That is Atmaram Tarkat. Here, they convinced and then Bade Bhav allowed, and then on a particular day they make all the arrangements because he was Katao Mill's chief manager and British Raj. Remember, I am not even talking about Ramachandra Atmaram's father, who was a doctor to the Viceroy of India in those days, British Raj. He was a doctor, personal doctor to the Viceroy, and therefore this family was too famous. It is something like you are related to the former President of the United States. Oh, no. Joe uncle, current President, slip of the tongue. So, they say, you can go. They were jumping with joy, and on a particular weekday they go to Pandarpur. When they reach Pandarpur, in those days, Beedbad Naita. There was no crowd, there was nothing. You can just enter the temple, just like Goddess Meenakshi temple in Madurai. A queue of only 10 people on normal days, particular times. You can visit Goddess Meenakshi and Sundaresh Lord Shiva and then come out. Huge mandir. Pundalik mandir, in these days, several hundred temples are there. There will be devotees dispersed in several temples. They reach, they take the bath, and then they get all the flowers and all that. The trouble with the Sita Devi is, I'm talking about that Sita Devi. She would like to do a puja herself to Panduranga. The pujari is of no avail. This is something Jyotindra knows. Everybody knows, but then the Jyotindra is a diplomat. He will keep quiet. He knows Shirdi Baba very well from a young age, therefore he kept quiet. Amma, you can start the puja. Nobody is there, the pujari is standing there. Vithalji stands on a platform in the main temple. All right? When he stands on a temple, what is he standing on? Anybody? Brick. Absolutely right. Standing on a brick. That story in another 5 minutes. The story of Pundalik, from whom he got the brick. The Lord Krishna got the brick. And therefore, she starts a puja in 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. The puja is over. Now the dilemma. Sita Devi is in a dilemma. She didn't know how to solve. And then she has to garland our Vithalji. Vithalji, you cannot go on the platform. She is asking for permission from the pujari. The pujari says, Mana kar diya. We cannot allow anybody go up the platform. and only I can go. And he was talking with some ahankar because he was Pujari of Vitalji Maharaj, very powerful God. When he said that, Jyotindra looked at Jyotindra. Jyotindra told, Ma, you came here with the permission of Shirdi Sai. You think of him, hold the garland in your hand, think of him, the one who gave you permission, you think of him, you will get a solution. That is how I look at this particular, this is not a problem at all. He is the one who can solve. So, Sitaji Turant, immediately, she held the garland like this, raised her hand, and then standing below, about 5 feet, maybe 5 to 6 feet, she was standing along with the Jyotindra, and the Pujari is waiting there. Okay, let us see what miracle this lady does. They don't know anything about, Pujari doesn't know anything about these two, nothing about the bhakti of these two persons. That's more important than the personage and the literature behind or around. When she does it, the statue of Pundalik, statue of Panduranga, it came forward, it moved, and then it bent. The statue bent. It is there in the literature. Jyotindra saw that. Jyotindra has described it to Virendra, and Virendra to everybody. The whole country knows. The statue moved, and then the statue also bent, so that Jyotindra, she was closed her eyes, and therefore Jyotindra touched the mother and said, Amma, look, quickly garland. The God has come to you, and then I told you the prayer. She immediately garlands, and then when she garlands, in a matter of seconds, the statue goes back to original position. All these things were witnessed by that Pujari. That Pujari, what do you think? He goes crazy, right? He went crazy. Sita Devi conquered now, right? She garlanded and her puja is complete. And she comes and pair pakada. The Pujari catches hold of first the Maji, Sita Devi, and then Jyotindra next. To which Jyotindra says, don't do that, please. We are very ordinary people. We are devotees of Shirdi Baba. With their permission, we came here, and therefore we are just normal people. You must be knowing this God much better than us. To which he said, you are Vitalji and Rukmani, and therefore I apologize to you. Said Jyotindra said, no apology is needed. Show your bhakti, real bhakti to this Lord. My mother and I, we show real bhakti, and therefore the statue moved, and what more, it bent. I was going through the literature of all photographs of Pandarpur. This picture is not there because those days he didn't have a camera. Those years probably camera was only on a stand, the huge ones, right? Cameraman has one. There is no cell phone, definitely. You would have taken 100 pictures and relayed around the country, right? Your friends in the United States, everybody would get one. And then Fox News will carry the news. 10 seconds before it happened. That's Fox News. It always before. The other day something happened in Texas, 2 planes collided. I saw that as soon as it collided, I saw that in the Indian news. American news showed only the next day morning. 2 planes collided in Texas. Right? Bomber and then the single engine aircraft of the Second World War. Anyway, shows Indians have very high IQ, smart people. Particularly IT people are too smart. They can do anything they want. In fact, the scene in the movie, they can recreate and show as Jyotindra and Sita Devi. Statue bending, you have technology. The statue can even do namaskar to Sita Devi. Because IT people, right? I know IT people, they're too smart. And then they say, this did not happen. Tailpiece. No, that thing didn't happen, that we wanted to see how it happens. That is IT, glory of IT people. Now, Vitalji, all their lives, this family had this belief later on that Baba is Vital and Dwarakamayi is none other than Pandarpur. I told you about Chandorkar. I'll take you to 1929. Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Maybe Telangana, forgive me. Andhra Pradesh. Experts are correcting me. Andhra Pradesh. Telangana means I got to get into wading through the capital. They are building. They are not decided as Visakhapatnam or Vijayawada or outskirts. How many billions of dollars? How much Joe uncle will give? I'm not getting into the politics of the capital of Telangana, but we have a very nice Andhra Pradesh. Telangana capital, currently Andhra Pradesh capital, and therefore Machilipatnam, I'm told by experts from Andhra Pradesh, is a big city. It's an entertainment center where lots of studios are there, films are being made. Bollywood, Hollywood, should I call it Mollywood? I don't know, my own name, Machilipatnam. And 1929, they lived in the outskirts of a small village in 1929. There lived a poor boy. His name is, anybody? How come I forgot? Lord Narasimha. His name is Narasimha. He was born in a very poor family, and he didn't even have alternate clothes. But then he had one stubborn, strong clothing. He wore bhakti as his clothing. Tremendous bhakti, because the parents were devoted to Lord Krishna, obviously. So Narasimha, he ate only once a day. With fire in the belly, he used to go to bed, but then the food happened to be Lord Krishna. He was hardly 8 years old when as all stories go, his mother died, passed away. And therefore, this boy, the mother used to be very proud of, because he will go into the temple and then sing all the abhangs. Abhangs in Marathi means lyrical songs, bhajans. He used to sing at 8. At the age of 12, he also had a pleasant and an unpleasant thing. He got married. I said pleasant. At the age of 12, it is unpleasant, right? You don't know who is your wife, right? You can probably play marble with her. So he got married when he was 12 years old, and then, because I said that because he didn't understand his wife and the marriage, significance of marriage, he started going to several temples. He started visiting Tirupati. 12-year-old boy, Tirupati, and then several people saw on his face the future of a very great sant. Bhakti-oriented people, when you look at them, I can find out. Real bhakti, false bhakti, or halfway through bhakti, half-baked bhakti, all these things. Kali Yuga, people go through these things, don't worry. People start somewhere at some point. You have to become half-baked and then fully baked. Baba will do. He will fry you in the frying pan to the fire. 2 cities have that street, Frying Pan Street in Atlanta and Fire Street in Washington, D.C. So frying pan to the fire, I said in Washington, D.C. satsang, Mama, what are you saying? No, I just mentioned your street and the street in Atlanta. Between that, I am doing satsang. Oh, okay, Mama, we didn't know that. He will fry you. And then he was fried. 12th year, he became 18. Just like Nayanmar's Lord Shiva's greatest devotees, very, very young, 8 years, Tirunjana Sambandha, 2 years, he will sing a song, and then the locks in the temple in Mayavaram will open, Mayiladurai will open. So these things for great devotees. Some of you are halfway through, some of you are 80% covered. Mama, I went to Pandarpur just last week. I was in India just 2 days ago, Mama. I was in Shirdi Baba temple in Mylapore, Mama. Those things, you are adding feathers to your cap, bhakti cap. No doubt. It is the process through which you are going. You are not seeing the ultimate, you are seeing the penultimate, ultimate things. This boy saw the ultimate things. And when you see ultimate things at 18, you go, what? Crazy. I use the word, right? He went crazy, and then he went to Pandarpur. 1929, the story is going on. He went straight to Pandarpur. And when he was coming, when in Pandarpur, he wrote a letter to the Lord. He took a paper and a pen, and then he wrote a letter to the Lord. Lord, I am not happy doing, he was doing Annadan in Tirupati and all that. He saw people. I am not happy doing Annadan in Tirupati. I am not doing Annadan in Machilipatnam. He belonged to Machilipatnam. I am not happy with any other things. I come here, oh my Lord Vittala. You give me something better than Annadan. I am seeking always anything you give me, I will seek one step ahead and I will seek something better than that. And therefore, you come and give me a temple, build me a temple in Machilipatnam. After all, that is a town, right? Build a temple. In Pandarpur, you make a wish. We don't have a branch of Make a Wish Foundation there. Don't get lost. Don't lose me there. Make a wish and it is bound to happen. It is like, not even like Sri Charana, Sri Pada Sri Vallabha, or Sri Narasimha Saraswati. In Guru Charitra, you will find in the next Janma, you will become a king. In the next Janma, you will become a very rich Brahmin. But in this Janma, I will provide you with, this is Sri Pada. I will provide you with 2 meals a day and a roof above your head. Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. I can tell you the names, but that's not necessary. So, when Sri Charana, the most powerful Sadguru who came from Dattatreya, Sampradaya, he says that, and Narasimha says that, but Shirdi Baba didn't say any of those things. He didn't tell the washerman, in the next Janma you will become a king and you will have a retinue of queens. This is in Charitamrita. Well, these are all decided by karma, the karmic laws as said by these people. These sons and Swamijis who are very powerful people who follow Shirdi Baba in the tradition of Shirdi Baba or within Shirdi Baba, when they say they exactly will happen, because the future is shown to them exactly. They will not say anything other than that. So, people who are within Sri Pada Sri Vallabha, Sri Charana, those who do, what is that Ashtotram? Famous Ashtotram and Charitamrita. Siddha Mangala Sostram. Those who read, or as Sri Pada says, you do Namaskar to Sumati Maharani. Radhakrishnan Garu. If you do Namaskar to Sumati Maharani and ask for something, Sri Charana will reduce your weight. Straight bath. You know? This is happening today. Because in Kali Yuga, because of the corruption of other country which ruled Bharat, our values went astray. Our values went astray, that's why Pandurang Pundalik temple also was a little bit, south, in people in south, and they didn't know, they didn't come to know, because 250 years of foreign domination that spoiled India's culture. And therefore, one should remember, he's saying, I left you there. Where did I leave you? Machilipatnam, yeah. Machilipatnam, he said, what's his name? Narasimha. You come to Machilipatnam, build a temple. In Machilipatnam, he went there. Several millionaires helped him. He built. Please don't disturb. Please have a seat. There's a huge temple he built in Machilipatnam. And then in the Machilipatnam temple, after he built, he went on doing abhangs. He started singing on the streets and other things. Several people who came to know the story followed him. The people became thousands and thousands, and then next time he went with a group of Varkaris in several dindis he formed, and then he took all of them to where? Pandarpur. When he took them to Pandarpur, he had a wish again. Because his wishes are coming true, he had a wish that said, Vittalji, Krishna, you first gave me in my temple, a portion is now, one building is separately for Vittalji Maharaj. So you should come there and we should consecrate you, and then my dreams will be over. He prayed there. When he prayed there, he wanted a stone. He came out of the temple along with his guru. He had a sant. Came out of the temple to the crescent area called Chandrabhaga River. He came to Chandrabhaga River. When he came there, Chandrabhaga River it was a monsoon time, it was in severe floods. He couldn't even stay there. He was about to be carried away by the waters, and therefore he prayed to Vithalji again. He said, Vithoba, please reduce the floods. This is done in 1929, not far away, right? This is 2029 very soon. So about 90 years ago. And the floods came down, revealing a round stone. Narasimha and the Guru walked there, collected the huge stone. It was about 5 to 6 feet tall, and then collected several other beautiful pebbles were arranged by the Lord. They carried it with carts, bullocks, took all of them to Machilipatnam and installed there. He announced on a particular day, the Lord will come, we will consecrate the temple. He announced. When he announced, the British people who were ruling, real story, they didn't believe. They brought a huge army, about 1,000 soldiers with guns. They were all standing there in the temple complex. It's a huge complex in Machilipatnam. The temple is still there for those who come from that city. Anybody from Machilipatnam who has seen that temple? Datta, Lord Vithalji's temple. So, British people were there. They said, this fellow's, pulling, wool over the eyes of all the people. This Narasimha, he's already in his 40s, and they say, we will have to arrest this fellow or kill this fellow. And therefore, everybody is standing there watching for the moment. And the moment is gradually coming, because Vithalji has said, at this moment, I will come there on the stone. And I will stand there like I am standing in Pandarpur. I'll stand with my arms akimbo, right? That is what is called. And I'll stand on a brick. The time came, it was only a few seconds, nothing happened. He prayed. He went inside. There is an Anjaneya Mandir in that complex in Machilipatnam. I have not gone there, but graphically I read about it. In the Anjaneya Mandir, Maruti Mandir, he went there and prayed. He threw Chandan over Maruti, and then when he threw Chandan over Maruti, the time arrived and there was a huge, humongous explosion inside the sanctum sanctorum of the temple meant for Vithalji. Hearing the explosion, the British army said, come on, break. The temple was closed by the British army. He said, come on, break the temple and see what's going on inside. What's going on inside? Inside they had a peep. Inside, Narada Muni was standing, 1929, recently. Narada Muni was standing, all the 4 sons of Maharashtra were standing, they were consecrating Vithalji's statue. That statue is still there in Machilipatnam temple. In the same temple, there is a Maruti temple. And the British troops went there, and we saw that. Have you seen that? They went there, the troops were aghast. And the commander of the troop came to Narasimha. They don't fall prostrate like we do. They said, yeah, what you said has happened. Thank you. And then he commanded all the army back, and then it became a story. That is what is. It's not even a folklore, it is in the print. These stories are in the print of Narasimha. Narasimha became very popular. But then not as popular as Pundalik. Do we have time? Pundalik's story is very, very popular. Shirdi Baba with Panduranga, right? The story of Pundalik is million times more interesting than the story of even Nirmalaji, the story of Nana Chandorkar, even the story of, it is like the story of Shirdi Baba in his younger days. Deccan was not very highly populated in those times. I told you about River Bhima, I told you about, there's a forest called Dandivan, where Dandi was a demon who was living, reportedly was living there several million years ago. And in that Dandivan, the demon is not living anymore. In the middle of that forest, a village was formed called Pandarpur. And that happened to be on the crescent moon shape, I already told you, which is called Chandrabhaga. This particular spot called that name because, anybody who knows the story? When Ahalya was carried by Indra, Lord Indra, it's a duplicate Ahalya, of course. Moon, God of moon, he helped, and therefore Ahalya's husband. What is his name? Maharishi, Gautam Maharishi, right? Gautam Maharishi cursed moon god, and therefore he developed very black spots. He had to come to Chandrabhaga river, and in the Chandrabhaga river he took a bath, and therefore all his impressions went away, black impressions. That is why that's called a Chandrabhaga river, that particular area. Otherwise it's called a Bhima river. In that city of Pandarpur, a few thousands in those days, few hundreds, there lived a Brahmin called Janudev with his wife Satyavati. Janudev and Satyavati was living a very pious life. Reads like a story in Guru Charitra, right? They were leading a very good life. They had a son. They named him Pundalik. Pundalik was growing pretty fast. Until he was 16 years, he was very, very religious in attending to parents. Duty of a son to the parents. He was helping the parents. He was doing everything that the parents would like. But only until 16. Like I told before, he got married at 16. When he got married, what I said, that's why I said that statement. Very unpleasant things happen. What happened? Janu, the wife, came to him like some of those Telugu and Tamil soap operas. A woman comes there, right? Daughter-in-law comes there, and that's the beginning of all the, I won't say problems, much bigger things. She will keep on talking like the Tamil. I don't know. My wife watches some of them. There is no more Amman. There is no more Amman. I used to watch Amman. But these days, all wives, they get married and come there, and all the men folk become. We will listen to you. Otherwise, there will be issues, right? Their skulls will be broken. I see that every day. Janu came and Pundalik's life changed. She said, we will ill-treat, we won't help, we won't give them food, we won't give them dress, we won't give them water. They will clean all our clothes, they will clean all the vessels, they will cook food for us, and we will have fun. Just to use an American. And they were having a lot of fun. At this time, a group of devotees were traveling via Pandarpur to Banaras. When they are going to Banaras, it's a very handsome, in those days, Banaras, right? Pundalik's time, 13th, 14th century. It's a very famous place. And therefore the parents said, whatever happens, we will go and walk to Banaras from Pandarpur. That will be much better than facing Janu every day. And then Pundalik every day. Pundalik only the other day, okay, prior to wedding, he was a very good man. Now he has completely changed. And they all know the reason. And therefore they joined the party. They started about to start walking. When Pundalik and Janu said, they are leaving, we will also go so that we will have somebody to fight with. They hired horses because they are well-to-do people. This fellow, Pundalik, 16, 17 years barely, along with his wife, 2 horses, they are riding the horse when the parents are walking. Parents are walking there in their 60s, mid-60s. Wonderful people. What's the name? Janudev and Satyavati. Very pious people, very devoted to the Lord. Such people, even though troubles beset them several times, they come out successful in the end, right? Good people may face problems, but the good Lord is always with them. They will always protect good people, right? Particularly great devotees of all these gods I am mentioning. You will never be forsaken. Take it from me, you will never be forsaken. Whatever may be the problem, they will be acting through human beings, they will be acting themselves. They will be coming as a vegetable vendor, they will be coming as a waiter in your Saravana Bhava. These things are happening, okay? Very peculiar. People will come and they will talk crazy. Then you will know, oh, he's a God, he's a Lord. Because he's talking crazy, right? While they were going, every day at the appointed place, the son and daughter-in-law will stop. When they stop, they will work through the horse. Horse will be given a bath. Horse will be decorated, all by the parents. So they started thinking, oh my God, the home was much better than this. We should have stayed back at home and allowed these people to come to Benares, right? A few days of peace. The second day when they are going, they could not reach the appointed place of rest for the night. About 25 pilgrims to Benares, right? And then these 4 people. They stopped in a forest. Very close inside the forest is a sage, Kukuteshwara Swami. Very familiar name from Charitamritam, of course. Kukut Swami is called. Kukuteshwara Swami's sage ashram was there. He invited all of them, come and stay here for the night. I'll take care of you. I'll give you food and clothing, everything. You can sleep well because your appointed place you will reach only at 1 a.m. They all came in and started sleeping. They were all tired, so everybody started sleeping except Pundalik. Something in his mind was rustling. Something in his mind did not allow him to sleep, and therefore he was tossing in his bed. When he was tossing in the bed, suddenly he saw, to his big surprise, very beautiful, most charming, beautiful women coming into the room. When he saw these beautiful women, they were all wearing soiled clothes. When they were wearing soiled clothes, they don't talk with anybody. I'll tell you who they were in the second night. They just went inside, nobody awoke, except Pundalik is watching. They were cleaning all the vessels, they were brooming the entire area, they were sleeping. Finally they went into the room where Kukuteshwara Swami sage is sleeping. When they went in, they came out, immediately they came out. Even before they entered, they came out, but then they were wearing sparkling white like snow in Boston last week. They were wearing beautifully white-clad women were coming out, and then they disappeared in the darkness. And our Pundalik, 18 years old, he was watching, said, what's going on here? Something is crazy here. Again the same word. He is crazy, but something is crazy. He saw the women. Next day morning, they all wake up, and Kukuteshwara Swami unfolds his hand and said, you are welcome to stay here for a second. This is God's work. When God is at work in your life, you will never know what is happening. Sometimes you can't explain, right? Mama, my project is ending. Okay, my dear, your project is ending because Google is going to appoint you. You've been having a dream to work for TCS. Now you are not working for, you are working for Verizon. Therefore, if you want to get as a directorship in Google or VP in Google, Baba will take away your project. So, the doings of the Sadguru, you will never miscalculate. Kindly take this from me. I have seen again and again and again and again and again and again and again, I have seen incidents in my life and in your lives. Thousands of papers. If you come to my media room, you will know what I say is true. You can't get into my media room, which is called a mission room. Several people tried. Hey, my papers are there. Don't walk over my papers. Yes, Mama, I see that. Tomorrow morning, somebody is going to see that. My friends from Atlanta. That is my mission room. Mama, your mission room, can we go? No, that is mana. You can't get in. So many people, so many incidents, so many getting jobs, so many going to court. Some of them, the famous D word that Baba doesn't like. Neither is this God. This God only unites people. It doesn't separate people. Therefore, people who come there that I'm about to divorce my wife, or wife says I'm about to divorce my husband. No, it's not happening. Not on my watch. She didn't understand the idiom because she came just 6 months ago to the United States. Not on my watch. Mama, you see future on your watch? Yeah, of course. It's only time. Kala kalaya namaha, on time, on your watch. Therefore, second day, they were all tired. It's a beautiful one, an ashram arranged by God for these people. What is the purpose? You are about to know in 10 nanoseconds. Next day night, they all go to bed very tired, early to bed. And therefore, Pundalik is again tossing, he is waiting. Can that come? Can I see those beautiful women once again? He thinks, no sooner he thinks, then did they come. The most beautiful woman is coming. and then followed by 7 or 8, 10 women. They're all wearing soiled clothes. Once again, very soiled clothes. They do the same duties. Pundalik is tossing in his bed. It's very interesting to Pundalik. Janu is sleeping. Because Janu is not interested in this. Janu is interested only in troubling father-in-law and mother-in-law. Unko tang de. Yeah, tang karo. Yeah. Kopdi ka jao. That is eat your brain in Hindi. Right expression? People from Delhi, they know. So, everything is done. They suddenly make an entry into the sage's room. Before they enter, they come out immediately in beautiful snow-white clothes, and then this fellow cannot sustain. He goes and pair pakda. The tallest, fairest of the women, most beautiful, more beautiful than even Agastya's wife. Lopamudra. The grammar of female fulcritude, as I often say. That is there in the scriptures, right? The grammar of female fulcritude is Lopamudra. More beautiful than Lopamudra, these people. So he goes and pair pakda and then say, may I know who you are? She says immediately, this is arranged by God. He says, I am Ganga, river Ganga. The people who come and wash their sins, millions and millions of people wash their sins, and that's the reason all our clothes are soiled. The people, the beautiful women who see, you see, the next one, Kaveri, Narmada, Yamuna, Chandrabhaga, Bhima. They say that in the scriptures. Chandrabhaga is not there. Bhima, Krishna, Kaveri, until the south. They're all standing there, most beautiful women. All of them wash their sins. That's why we come with this thing. We do duty with soiled clothes. We do our duty to the sage. That's the reason sage and sage-like people, you have to give reverentially, you have to do. Indians do namaskar. And then they forget, it's all right. They do namaskar. It's like attending one satsanga of uncle. And then after 12 months, they come to the same home. I ask, how come exactly 12 months? Again, second year, like second night. Same home, 12 months later they come. Mama, I am Shankar Metla's neighbor, Mama. Only is Puja, I will come. Ah, it's like Shirdi Baba's neighbor. Right? And the others from Bandra. I am not a neighbor of Shirdi Baba. You ask him to come next to my home in Bandra, tab to aayenge. It's like that. Therefore, says, and then this fellow, who? Pundalik, is watching her face. Most beautiful face. Cannot even, eyelids don't close. Ganga says, the worst sin a man can commit is to ignore one's parents. What you have been doing is the biggest crime. You are soiling my whole cloth again. And then her cloth became soiled. She just showed. Pundalik was shocked. He took a step back, holding to her, saying, said, you should never do that. You should treat your parents well. Always treat your parents well. Then they immediately disappeared. That night, before the parents woke up, Pundalik has a biggest change of heart. I wish the same, when I was reading the story, I wish the same change of heart comes to those who are on the journey, D. When they come to me, of course, Baba works, and then 2-3 couple, they have joined together, they are living very happily now. I'm happy to say that. Except one was gone all the way to Connecticut, leaving the wife in Texas. That story might go on for some more time before, I appeal to one of the Sadguru's most powerful God. And then they will interfere and they can't do anything. They will have to come back and join. That is how it happened in Baltimore. That's how it happened West Coast. That's how it happened in Austin. That's how it happened in 2 cases in India. Recently, Chennai got flooded. One very great devotee who calls me every week from Chennai, Kolathur. Kolathur is called. Everywhere is flooded. People are driving. People are swimming. It is TV shows. Her area, her road, she called me and said, hey, your road, is it flooded? She is pregnant. 29th week, right? She says, Mama, floods never came to our street. Hey, what could be a reason? Mama, you walked on the street, you came to our home. Therefore the flood. I said, that may not be the right reason. Thank you for the compliment, but then you watch the street. Who is coming and going every day? So, several miracles happened. Even inside her womb, in the growth of the babies, a big miracle happened. I'm not getting into the story on some other satsang. When you believe in God, He can do all these things. A boy is suffering from scoliosis, 10 degrees, the surgeon says, doctor says. It's not even 1 degree. It turns out to be 1.2 degrees and it's normal. Normal man has got probably 4 degrees scoliosis. So, this is for people who have spine. There are lots of spineless people. I'm not even talking about them. No scoliosis for those. Here, they wake up and then Pundalik goes to prostrate before the parents, and then with great difficulty he says, let's go back to Pandarpur, you are old, and therefore he satisfies them, he argues and satisfies, and Janu is very, very surprised. He tells Janu for the first time, just follow my road, follow my path. Good for him. She followed. The horses were given to the parents, Satyavati and Janudev, and these two, Pundalik and Janu, walked their way. This is a real story. It is there in the scriptures, in all literature in Maharashtra. They walked back and then he was serving the parents very well. Now this is the climax of the story. You thought the beautiful women were the climax, Ganga was the climax. Nope. He was serving the parents, and Lord Krishna comes as the king of that region. You know, Pandarpur Taluk has got 123 villages. The population is something like 427,000 of the 123 villages. That's the Taluk of Pandarpur. Pandarpur itself has got a very, it's not like 13th century. It's becoming a big town now. And therefore, when he is serving the parents, when he is offering food, Krishna comes as a king. He stands at the door of the home and he knows somebody has come. Therefore, Pundalik takes a brick nearby, throws it to that person, say, hey, wait, stand on the brick. In those days, maybe it's a sampradayam. Stand on the brick is better than offering a sofa cum bed with you can stretch your leg. Stand there. The king stands on the brick, and after serving the parents, he comes out and sees Lord Krishna standing on the brick. And this is a story in the Puranas, and this is true. This is there in every temple in Pandarpur. You can read in every language, including Marathi. He says, you build a temple here, this Pandarpur, I am going to stay here as Pundalik. That is how the name of Pundalik comes. In the prayer that you sing in the temple, Pundalika Jaga, that is his name. Baba Vara. It's a beautiful thing. We do it in the Arati. Today we are going to do that, right? That Pundalik, several people don't know. This is the Pundalik of the 13th, 14th century. His name is now carved on all the stone carvings, in all the literature. His name became the God's name, the Lord's name, Lord Krishna, as Vittala, as Panduranga, Vithoba. Vithoba is a very famous name in India. Now millions of people go there, go to the Pundalik. One of the 170 temples there in that Chandrabhaga complex, along with the 14 buildings, world's largest toilet complex, is one temple in his name, Pundalik Maharaj. His picture is there. There is a statue in the entrance. When you go next time, you please see the entrance statue. He is serving the old people. There are statues, painted statues, very colorful. It's there on the internet. Parents he is serving, and then, Om Sakimbo, Lord Krishna is standing, and he came as a king. Om Sakimbo. He is standing there, and that is why there is a temple, and the current temple is where this incident took place. Dear devotees, it's time to start the puja. When I say it's time to start the puja, I can also tell you, I am going to Satcharita, one story, and then one story here. There are two more stories, but then that is for the next satsang. This satsang, for a very long time, Lord Krishna's name is what? Murari is Lord Krishna's name, right? Am I right? Where is Murari? Murari's mom is here. Oh, you are here. That's enough. This humor involves you. We will start the puja here. Sai Murari works every weekend in his home. His mother asks him to clean 2 or 3 bedrooms straight. I'm reading. 2 or 3 bedrooms he is asked to clean, and he does it very religiously. If there is something wrong, you please make bold to correct me, okay? Everybody knows that. Even on the camera, several cities know you, right? Am I right? Yeah. Murari gets paid for his work. Sorry. He gets paid. When the work is done, mom pays her son. Sai Murari told me last week, verbatim, my mom pays me a small salary and I have to pay her income tax. Wow. That was a googly, but then the sixer comes now. He plays cricket too. That is why he was waiting for Sri Sabarinathan's son, who is coming all the way from Atlanta playing. He's in the south zone of United States team. So he's your friend. And then coming to the humor. I have to pay her income tax to her. Maybe she will ask for payroll tax later. You told me that. See, he's saying yes. I am left with nothing. What is this my mom is doing? He says, it is free work. Welcome to capitalism. This boy is very intelligent. Welcome to capitalism. That is how our capitalism country works, right? You pay income tax for last week, you done? Yearly once or weekly?
It's monthly.
Oh, it's monthly. 12 times he pays. Yeah, he is very brilliant. See, he knows monthly must have some advantages over weekly. That's why, even the return and all, no return and all that. That is all mom's work, IT work. Now let us do. For a very long time I never had, so I had a, Vithalji ka color. Vithalji Vari's color I wrote his humor. That has a significance. Now let's do the puja. Thank you for listening to this Pandarpur stories, Pandarpur miracles. Pandarpur, when you go, you ask for something I already told you, that will be fulfilled by this Lord. There is not one devotee in that million, more than 1 million people. So 1 million people have floated million stories. I have only picked one Nirmala ji. I picked one Pundalik ji. I picked one more. I saw from the car from Shirdi to Pune, only this Vari group. I felt like stopping and dancing with them, with all the tulasi in their head, 60-year-old men and women. They were dancing and singing abhangas. That is a sight to see. There is no casteism, no difference. Everybody is what? Everybody is a Mauli. Mother. Everybody is a mother. I saw them, they sing my car was going towards Pune. But then I enjoyed most on the way the sight of these devotees. It is punya. Thousands of people we saw, and thousands of our punya account in Chase Bank has increased. Am I right? Let's go to the puja now. Coming back from Pandarpur, to Shirdi, and then back to Irving, Texas. This is a small booklet, The Greatness of Pandarpur, very graphically, beautifully written in that small, beautiful village. Some of the devotees whose statues you will see in the more than 100 temples. One of them is Mukta Bai. Her story I have, a very classic story of this woman, a devotee of Pundalik. But then there is no time. All right. One takeaway from this satsang is, when you go to Shirdi next time, it is nothing, it's none other than Pandarpur. Shirdi Baba's picture where he is live is none other than him. Because he said that to one devotee in the dream, and he said that to Sita Devi, right? This is Pandarpur. Your Vittalji is here. In another story, he told Kaka Sahib Dikshit, famous story, I have not. He said, Vittalji, aayenge aaj sham ko. He will come this afternoon. Turant pakdo. Catch hold of him, otherwise he will give a slip. That story I will cover when I come to part 2 of Pandar. Let's go to Pandarpur. Beautiful stories. Let us do the puja. Om Sri Sai. It's 8:10. All ready? Om Sri Sai Sai Nadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Lakshmi Narayana Namaha. Om Sri Sai Krishna Rama Sivaya Maruti Yati Rupaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sesha Sai Ne Namaha. Om Sri Sai Godavari Tata Shiladi Vasine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Hridayalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Hridaya Vasine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Buddha Vasaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Buddha Bhavishya Pava Varjitaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kalatitaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kala Kalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kala Darpa Damanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Mrityunjayaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Amartyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Martya Abhaya Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jivadaryaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarvadaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavana Samarthaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavana Pradignyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Annavastradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Arogyakshemadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Dhanamangalya Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Riddhi Siddhidaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Putra Mitra Kalatra Bandhudaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Yoga Shema Vahaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Marga Bandhave Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhukti Mukti Swarga Pavargadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Priyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Priyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Preeti Vardhanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Antaryamine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Antaryamini Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sachidatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Nityanandaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Paramasugataya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Parameshwaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Paramatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jnana Swarupine Namaha. जगदपित्रेय नमः। भक्तानां मातृदातृपितामहाय नमः। ओम श्री साई पितामहाय नमः। ओम श्री साई भक्त अभयप्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री साई भक्त पारादीनाय नमः। ओम श्री साई भक्त अनुग्रह कातराय नमः। ओम श्री साई शरणागत वत्सलाय नमः। भक्ति शक्ति प्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री साई ज्ञान वैराग्यताय नमः। ओम श्री साई प्रेम प्रदाय नमः। ओम श्री साई संशय हृदय पापकर्म वासन क्षयकराय नमः। ओम श्री साई संशय हृदय दौर्बल्य पापकर्म वासन क्षयकराय नमः। ओम श्री साई हृदय ग्रंथि भेदगाय नमः। ओम श्री साई कर्मध्वंसिने नमः। ओम श्री साई सुत्त सस्वस्तिदाय नमः। ओम श्री साई गुणादित गुणात्मने नमः। ओम श्री साई अनंत कल्याण गुणाय नमः। ओम श्री साई अमित पराक्रमाय नमः। ओम श्री साई अमित पराक्रमाय नमः। ओम श्री साई जयिने नमः। ओम श्री साई जयिने नमः। दूरदर्शाशोभाय नमः। ओम श्री साई अपराजिताय नमः। ओम श्री साई त्रिलेकेषु अविगतगातये नमः। असाक्यरहिताय नमः। ओम श्री साई असाक्यरहिताय नमः। सर्वशक्तिमूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री साई स्वरूप सुंदराय नमः। ओम श्री साई सुलोक्षणाय नमः। ओम श्री साई बहिरुपविश्वमूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री साई अरुभाव्यक्ताय नमः। ओम श्री साई अचिंताय नमः। ओम श्री साई सूक्ष्माय नमः। ओम श्री साई सूक्ष्माय नमः। ओम श्री साई सर्वंतर्यामिने नमः। ओम श्री साई मनोवागतीताय नमः। ओम श्री साई प्रेममूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री साई सुलभदुर्लभाय नमः। ओम श्री साई असहाय सहायाय नमः। अनाथनाथ दीनबंधवे नमः। ओम श्री साई सर्वभाराप्तुते नमः। ओम श्री साई अकर्मानेक कर्म सुकर्मिणे नमः। ओम श्री साई पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनाय नमः। ओम श्री साई तीर्थाय नमः। ओम श्री साई वासुदेवाय नमः। ओम श्री साई वासुदेवाय नमः। ओम श्री साई सतां गतये नमः। ओम श्री साई सत्पारायणाय नमः। ओम श्री साई लोकनाथाय नमः। ओम श्री साई भावननागाय नमः। ओम श्री साई अमृतांसवे नमः। ओम श्री साई अमृतांसवे नमः। भास्कर प्रभाय नमः। ब्रह्मचर्य तपस्सर्यादि सुव्रताय नमः। ओम श्री साई सत्यधर्मपारायणाय नमः। ओम श्री साई सत्यधर्मपारायणाय नमः। सिद्धेश्वराय नमः। सिद्धसंकल्पाय नमः। Om Sri Sai Siddha Shankalpaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Siddha Shankalpaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhagavate Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Satpurushaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Satyadattva Parayanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Satyadattva Bodhagaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kamadi Sadvairidvamsine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Apedanandanubhava Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samasarvamada Sammataya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Venkatesa Ramanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Venkatesa Ramanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Atpudananda Charyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Venkatesa Ramanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Prabannarthi Haraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samsara Sarva Dukkha Chayakaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samsara Sarva Dukkha Chayakaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya Namaha. Sarvavid Sarvato Mukhaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarvantar Bahistidaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Bhishta Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Bhishta Pradaya Namaha. Samarasa Shanmarga Sthapanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sri Samartha Sadguru Sai Nadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Nadaya Namaha. Sai Nadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sri Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayaga Rajadiraja Yogiraja Parabrahma Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Let's do the Aarti, and the Aarti would remind you of Chandrabhaga river, and also of Dasganu, who is lying in state somewhere near on the banks of Chandrabhaga river.
Om Sai Namo Namaha Shri Sai Namo Namaha Jai Jai Sai Namo Namaha Sadguru Sai Namo Namaha
Om Sai Namo Namaha Shri Sai Namo Namaha Jai Jai Sai Namo Namaha Sadguru Sai Namo Namaha
Om साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
ॐ साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
ॐ साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
ॐ साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
ॐ साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
ॐ साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः।
ॐ साई नमो नमः, श्री साई नमो नमः, जय जय साई नमो नमः, सद्गुरु साई